Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aldina, and I am the creator of Divinely Healing. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I learned recently that has helped me a lot in my journey. And it's something that all of us, I'm sure, have done because of the way that we've grown up and the things that we've absorbed from other people and learned from our environments and everything around us and the way that the world works. And that is that we have all acted, felt, and thought a certain way because we felt it was the right thing to do. Now, I wanted to talk about this because in my last video, I talked about how things are looking a little bit different than I thought they would by now, and how I have stopped myself many times from enjoying the journey because I was so focused on healing and so focused on the destination that I forgot where I was, and I didn't stop to take a look around and see all the beauty that was around me, even when it was soul crushing and I felt like I wasn't going to make it. There was still some love around me, something so beautiful that I didn't stop to just enjoy in that moment. And so this kind of ties into that a little bit, right? We like to act a certain way and base our decisions on things because we feel that it is the right thing to do, or it is the good thing to do, or it's what is expected of us. And so I kind of just wanted to be a reminder today that you don't have to live your life according to what the right thing to do is. Okay, where there's no point in worrying about what the right thing is when you should just be. Okay, even if you're angry, just be in that moment. If you're happy, be in that moment. If you're sad, be in that moment. Whatever it is, just be in the moment. Don't try to punish yourself or force yourself to feel a different way because it's confusing or it's unknown territory or you've been punished in the past for feeling that way. And just from personal experience, I've always had a very hard time opening up about my feelings and sharing my thoughts with people because I wanted to avoid conflict and I wanted to avoid any sort of confrontation or making other people feel uncomfortable. And because I was doing that, I was creating this war inside myself. And I was making myself feel uncomfortable. I was making myself feel unsafe in all of these situations and unsafe in my own body because it felt like everything was a threat in some way. And there have been a lot of times that I have been silenced or that I have been punished for speaking up. And I've always been a very observant person, even especially when I was a child. And I've seen a lot of anger, I've seen a lot of pain and sadness, I've seen so much resentment and hatred. I've seen it all. And that changed me in a lot of ways. And it made me afraid to take chances and afraid to tell everyone how I was really feeling because I didn't want to be punished. I didn't want the backlash that would come from speaking up, from speaking my mind. And that same lesson and that same idea has been reflected to me for my whole life. The past relationships and friendships that I've had have been the exact same way. I have kept quiet because I wanted to avoid the conflict. And instead of sharing how I was feeling and sharing what was going on inside of me, I kept it all to myself. And then I pushed people away. And I didn't want to let anyone in because I was afraid. I was afraid that if I told them how I felt, they would tell me that I was stupid and dramatic and leave me. And my brain was telling me these things because it had happened to me so many times that I was called dumb and I was called dramatic and I was left alone because I don't know, either people didn't like what they saw or they didn't understand me, or I guess I was being dramatic and dumb. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have been punished for speaking up. I mean, I see that happen all the time. And I don't just mean by your parents or a parental figure, I see it everywhere. I see it in the workforce, I see it in politics. And so we've learned this from a young age, especially if you have grown up in a household where things were run a certain way and you weren't able to freely express yourself. Okay. And it had to be like, these are the rules, and you have to follow every single rule, and you can't try to get out of this little box that's been created by your parental figure, whoever, guardian. And if you stray away from this box, you will be punished because these are the rules that I set up. And that makes people afraid then now in the real world here as adults and as people that are contributing to society. It makes us afraid to stray outside of what has been set into place by society. It makes us afraid to be different, to speak differently, to think differently, to act differently, because it's like this fear engraved from when you were a child that you will be punished for thinking and feeling and acting a way that isn't right. And I've talked about this a little before where I kind of want to remove the labels of right and wrong and good and bad and just see that everything is just as it is. And so I want us to stray from the right and the wrong. Okay, if you are feeling something so deeply and you want to express it, whether that be anger or sadness or even joy and happiness, express it. The way that you feel is necessary to express it. I've seen so many people, and I've personally felt this way as well, but so many times where I've been angry and I've been sad and I felt guilty about it. I felt like there was something that was wrong with me because I felt that way. And this happens a lot too, right? This whole toxic positivity thing, and you have to think positive thoughts all the time and forget about the negative stuff and fake it till you make it. But I don't think that any of these things, these ideas, truly work until you're really getting down to the core of who you are and the core of these feelings that you're having. Because those positive thoughts and fake it till you make it is just a band aid for what's truly going on. You can, I mean, it's wonderful to have these positive affirmations and try to think positive thoughts. That's a wonderful thing to do, and that is a great tool. But I don't think it's the only thing that you can do. You can't just do that and expect yourself and your life to completely change. It takes time and it takes effort and it takes getting down and digging deep and being friends with your shadow side that you're so ashamed of and you feel guilty for. And so I wondered, why do I feel so guilty when I'm not at my best? When I have these strong feelings of anger and sadness? Why do I feel so guilty about that? And then I realized that I never had a chance to express these things growing up. Not my family, not my friends, not my teachers, or whoever. And I felt guilty because it felt like I was doing something wrong. Because instead of being this perfect child that I always tried to be, I was actually a mess in a lot of ways. And when I did speak up, I was punished for it in some way, or I was made to feel as though I was bad or that I was doing something bad, even though I was just expressing myself. And the sad thing is that a lot of people have learned the same things that we have learned. They have grown up in households and went to schools where authority figures and parents were also hurt and also had this trauma and were also feeling the same way that we felt, and they didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know how to respond to the things that were happening. And it's like they just kept doing the same things that their parents before them did and their parents before them did, and so on and so forth. It's like this huge cycle, and it just is passed down from generation to generation. And I try to remember that all the time, to just know that a lot of these people are coming from places of being hurt, of themselves being angry and feeling misunderstood. And they didn't understand how to deal with or cope with the things that were going on around them. And so I guess my whole point in all of this is saying that instead of feeling guilty for the way that you feel and trying to suppress the way that you feel because you're afraid to make someone else uncomfortable or because you're afraid of confrontation and conflict, just be. Stop worrying about how you should be and stop worrying about what the right thing to do is, and just be. Don't punish yourself for feeling angry or sad or depressed or whatever it is that you're feeling that you feel so guilty for. Don't try to put a label on it. The only thing that you can do is feel through it. That's the only way that you're going to get through any of the feelings or emotions that you're going through. The more that you try to suppress it, the more that you make yourself feel guilty for it, the stronger that feeling gets, the more intense it gets, and the more it has a hold on you. So instead of worrying about how your feelings are affecting other people, think about how your feelings are affecting you in your reality and the things that you do and the decisions that you make. Are you in the current place that you're in because someone told you to be there, because someone said that this was the right thing to do? Or are you here because you decided that you wanted to be here? Because you felt your way and you thought that this is what's going to make me happy. This is what feels good for me. Are you making decisions for yourself, or are you letting other people in society decide it for you because it's the right thing to do or it's what you're supposed to be doing? There is no right thing to do. We're all here for different purposes and we're all going to do different things. And some people are really good at certain things and other people just completely suck at it, and that's fine. because we all have our own strengths and we all have our own weaknesses. So there is no right thing for everyone. This is not a one shoe fits all kind of thing. Life is completely different for everyone, and people are going to completely experience it differently. So stop feeling like you're so wrong in the way that you feel and just be. Just be in all of your craziness or madness or whatever it is that's so unique about you and the way that you work. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Peace.